How to stay unshaken by anything. 9 Stoic lessons to protect your inner peace. Have you noticed how small things can completely throw off your mood? A single sarcastic comment, a disapproving glance, or a tiny inconvenience, and suddenly, it feels like you're carrying a weight for the rest of the day. But what if you could go through life as if none of it really got to you? Not by pretending everything is fine, not by ignoring your problems, but by developing the ability to choose your response and protect your inner calm. Stoic philosophy teaches that what truly shapes our lives isn't what happens to us, but how we respond to it. Emotional strength isn't about being cold or disconnected. It's about not allowing what's beyond your control to drain your energy or cloud your mind. The ability to remain calm and centered is something you can build. It's a skill, a mindset, one that's developed through intentional, everyday choices. And once you begin practicing it, everything changes. In this video, you'll discover 9 powerful Stoic principles that will help you move through life as if nothing could disturb your peace. Each one is simple, practical, and deeply transformative. Part 1. Build your inner shield. Serenity doesn't just happen, it's something you cultivate. Think of it as an invisible shield, built from awareness, intention, and consistent effort. This shield protects you from the chaos of the outside world and allows you to move through the day with greater balance. The first step to building this shield is recognizing that you control what enters your mind and what takes root in your heart. The world may try to shake you, but it only has as much power as you give it. Think back to a time when someone tried to provoke or hurt you with words. How did you respond? Did you dwell on it for hours? Maybe even days? If so, that's a sign you handed over part of your emotional power. Your serenity shield begins to form the moment you choose not to give that power away anymore. One of the most effective ways to strengthen this shield is by practicing intentional silence. When someone tries to get under your skin, the instinct is to fire back. But choosing not to react, choosing stillness, can be far more powerful. Silence isn't weakness. It's self-mastery. Another tool is to ask yourself, does this really matter? So many of the things that disturb us are, in the big picture, meaningless. A traffic jam, a petty comment, a minor mistake. Are these really worth your peace? Visualization can also help. Imagine a shield around you made of steel or stone, strong, immovable. Each time someone throws negativity your way, it hits the shield and falls away. With time, this mental imagery helps condition your mind to respond with more calm. Having a serenity shield doesn't mean shutting yourself off. It means engaging with life intentionally. You'll still feel things, but they won't control you. You'll begin to realize that most of the time, it's okay to let things go. And finally, redirect your attention. Whatever you focus on grows. If your energy is spent on irritation, there's little left for what truly matters. Choose to focus on what uplifts you, on people who elevate you, and actions that move you forward. That focus becomes your armor. Serenity isn't about not feeling. It's about not letting everything you feel take you down. That's your power. Claim it, and practice it daily. Part 2. Become unshakable. Picture a solid rock in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, yet the rock stays still, unmoved. That's what it means to become unshakable, to remain grounded, even when the world around you is falling apart. Often, we react without thinking. A rude comment, a sudden delay, a harsh criticism, and our mood shifts instantly. We become like leaves in the wind, tossed around by every minor disruption. But that kind of fragility comes from depending too much on the external, from needing validation or avoiding discomfort. True strength emerges when you realize the only thing you truly control is how you respond. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can shake you unless you allow it to. To develop this steadiness, start by separating what you can control from what you can't. The behavior of others? Out of your hands. The weather? Unpredictable. Traffic? Not up to you. but your reaction to all of it, that's 100% yours. Whenever something tries to steal your calm, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Don't waste your energy fighting battles that are already unwinnable by nature. Another key practice is watching your thoughts. When something bothers you, instead of diving in, pause. Notice what your mind is doing. It's fast, emotional, and often wrong. When you take a step back and observe, the emotion loses its grip. And then there's active acceptance. Life won't always go your way. There will be setbacks, losses, moments of pain. Resisting what you can't change only creates more suffering. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing peace over control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what becoming unshakable is all about. Simplify your life. Let go of unrealistic expectations, endless distractions, and unnecessary worries. The less noise you allow in, the more clarity you create. With clarity comes stability. To be unshakable isn't to be numb. It's to be whole. To know when to speak and when to stay silent. To protect your energy. To walk through chaos with your head high, because your peace isn't up for negotiation. Part 3. Transform obstacles into steps. Life will place stones in your path, but who said those stones are barriers? Maybe they're steps, just disguised. The way you interpret difficulty changes everything. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is one of the most powerful teachings in Stoicism. It reminds us that what appears to block us might actually be guiding us to something greater, something deeper. Sometimes, a door closes so a better one can open. A painful moment can reveal a strength you didn't know you had. A failure might be exactly what leads you to your true path. But to see that, you must shift your perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this help me become a stronger version of myself? This isn't about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about allowing the pain to exist without letting it define you. It's about seeing in each challenge the seed of growth and choosing to nurture it. Every difficulty comes with a hidden lesson, and every lesson absorbed becomes part of your strength. Discomfort pushes you beyond your comfort zone, and that's where real evolution begins. Picture a staircase. Each step is a struggle, but as you climb, your perspective widens. What once felt overwhelming now looks small, not because it shrank, but because you grew. Reframe the situation. Don't see problems as punishment or bad luck. See them as tests, chances to prove to yourself that you're more capable than you thought. Like steel shaped by fire, your character is refined through adversity. And remember, hard moments often uncover hidden talents and strengths. How many times have you found creative solutions or tapped into inner resilience during a crisis? These moments show you who you truly are. Stoicism invites us to be grateful for adversity. It sounds contradictory, but gratitude shifts everything. When you're thankful for the challenges, you no longer feel like a victim. You become the author of your transformation. Your attitude in difficult times also sets an example for others. People are watching. When you respond to chaos with calm and clarity, you become living proof that it's possible to rise instead of break. Reflect on the hard things you've been through. Ask yourself, what did I learn? How did it shape me for the better? That practice of constant self-reflection becomes a quiet superpower. The obstacles you overcome today are the very steps that elevate you tomorrow. Life will always present new difficulties, but you get to choose how to face them. And when you adopt this mindset, nothing truly stops you, because you don't just move forward, you rise. Part 4. Learn to pause. In today's world, most of us are constantly in motion, racing through the day, reacting to everything automatically, without stopping to breathe or think. This constant rush leads to impulsive decisions, careless words, and actions we later regret. But the secret to a more peaceful and balanced life lies in something simple and powerful: learning to pause. Marcus Aurelius advised, Be the master of your mind. And mastering the mind begins when you pause. When you take a moment to step back, breathe, and reflect before reacting. Think of how many times you've said or done something you regretted in the heat of the moment. Maybe you snapped back at someone, rushed into a decision, or spoke without thinking. These moments happen because we act too quickly. We let the emotion of the moment take over. But when you pause, even for just a few seconds, you give yourself the chance to choose a better response. A pause creates space. And in that space is your power. When you feel anger rising, stop. Inhale deeply. Count to 3. That single breath can interrupt the emotional spiral. What once felt urgent loses its grip when you give yourself a moment of calm. This same principle applies to moments of indecision. Whether it's a conversation, a challenge at work, or a difficult choice, you don't have to respond instantly. Start saying, "I need a moment to think." That isn't weakness. It's self-awareness. It means you value your choices and don't act on impulse. Pausing also allows for deeper introspection. You begin to notice what's beneath your reactions. Maybe it's fear, insecurity, or something unresolved from the past. These insights only emerge when you create room for them. Without the pause, you lose the opportunity to understand yourself. Even physically, taking small breaks throughout your day, just a few minutes to stretch, breathe, or sit quietly, helps renew your energy and sharpen your focus. In Stoic philosophy, the pause is sacred. Epictetus taught, "First, decide who you want to be. Then, do what needs to be done." But how can you know who you want to be if you never stop to ask? Pausing is a radical act of courage. It resists pressure. It breaks cycles. It reminds you that you, and only you, are responsible for your actions. Life isn't a sprint. It's a journey. And every pause is a chance to correct your course, reaffirm your values, and respond with wisdom. The more you incorporate this practice, the more serenity and clarity will walk beside you, even in your most chaotic days. Because those who learn to pause, learn how to live. Part 5. Focus on inner control. Trying to control what's beyond your reach is one of the fastest paths to frustration. We want things to go according to plan, for people to behave how we expect, for circumstances to flow smoothly, for the world to follow our script. But it rarely does. The more you try to grip what's slipping through your fingers, the more exhausted you become. It's like trying to hold sand. The harder you squeeze, the more you lose. The key? Stop trying to control what's external. Start cultivating what's always within your reach, your inner response. Epictetus once said, "It's not the things themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them." And that changes everything. Because if your disturbance comes from within, then so does your peace. Whenever something throws you off balance, ask yourself, is this under my control? If it is, take wise action. If not, let it go. Don't spend your energy trying to win battles that were never yours to begin with. Most of our daily frustrations, traffic, rude comments, sudden changes, belong to the outside world. You can't stop them from happening, but you can choose how much of yourself you hand over to them. That choice is yours, and only yours. Cultivating inner control isn't an overnight achievement. It takes observation, practice, patience. It begins when you start noticing your own patterns. How do you react to disappointment, to rejection, to the unexpected? Instead of immediately snapping or shutting down, pause. Ask yourself, will my reaction make this better or worse? That question alone is proof you're reclaiming the wheel. And don't confuse acceptance with resignation. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's recognizing the reality of what is, and choosing to respond with clarity instead of resistance. It's using your energy where it matters. Marcus Aurelius put it best. You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And that's exactly what inner control is: strength, freedom, and emotional clarity. Train your mind to feed on constructive thoughts. What you water will grow. If you keep replaying pain, injustice, or worry, You're strengthening what drains you. Instead, ask, what can I learn here? How can this make me stronger? Inner control also means setting boundaries, saying no, choosing not to give your time, energy, or presence to what threatens your peace. Not everything deserves a response. Not everything belongs in your space. Life will keep testing your calm. It will throw curveballs. But Stoicism doesn't promise a storm-free life. It teaches you how to sail through it with your head high. Focus on what you can truly influence, your thoughts, your actions, your state of mind. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing you no longer need to be ruled by chaos. Because inner control isn't just a practice. It's a doorway to true freedom. And once you walk through it, you'll realize nothing can steal your peace unless you hand it over. Part 6. Adopt the observer's perspective. Have you ever watched your life as if it were a scene in a movie, with you as the main character? That's what it means to adopt the observer's perspective, to step back from the emotional heat of the moment and see things clearly, calmly, from the outside in. When something upsetting happens, like a sharp comment or someone's careless behavior, your instinct may be to react. But when you pause and observe instead, everything changes. You stop being a puppet to your emotions and start becoming the master of your own peace. This way of seeing allows you to separate what happened from how you feel about it. It's like climbing a watchtower. From that higher vantage point, you can see what's really happening, how things connect, and where they're heading. You're no longer just reacting. You're understanding. Imagine someone says something rude at work. Your first impulse might be to snap back, get defensive, or silently carry the sting. But if you choose to observe instead of absorb, you realize these are just words. They probably weren't even fully thought through. And they say more about the other person's inner state than about you. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to life. On the contrary, it means you stay fully present, but not ruled by every passing emotion. You acknowledge anger, fear, or anxiety, but you don't let them control the steering wheel. You begin to notice. Emotions are like clouds. They come and go. But behind them, the sky remains unchanged. The Stoics often spoke of avoiding the trap of uncontrolled passions. Marcus Aurelius encouraged us to see things as they are, not as our emotions paint them. And when you choose to observe rather than react, you are embodying that wisdom in real time. You tell yourself, this is happening, but it doesn't have to dominate me. I choose how to respond, or if I even need to respond at all. And here's the remarkable part. The moment you stop reacting, the situation often loses its power. The rude comment loses its sting. The chaotic commute no longer ruins your day. The moment passes, and so do you, unshaken. Start small. Next time something irritates you, take a breath and ask, if I were watching this happen to someone else, how would I see it? That little bit of distance can shrink the problem instantly. This shift changes how you interact with others too. You respond with empathy, speak with calm, and let go of pride. People begin to respect your steadiness. You become someone who doesn't flinch at every blow, and that presence commands quiet admiration. Most importantly, the observer's perspective reminds you that the world isn't targeting you personally. People act from their own battles. Most of the time, their actions have nothing to do with you. You don't have to step into every fight life invites you to. You can rise above. You can choose where your energy goes, because, in the end, nothing truly affects you, unless you let it. Part 7. Master the power of silence. Silence is one of the most underestimated and transformative powers you can develop. In a world that demands constant noise, fast answers, and instant reactions, mastering silence is not just a skill, it's a statement of strength. How many times have you regretted something you said in the heat of the moment? An argument, a sharp comment, or a hasty attempt to explain yourself when you didn't need to. Now imagine the opposite. The power to stay silent, to pause, to observe what's unfolding before you, and only speak when it truly matters. That choice doesn't just change conversations, it changes outcomes. Choosing silence isn't about avoidance, it's about control. It's about creating space, a sacred space, between stimulus and response. And in that space, you find wisdom. The Stoics deeply valued this. Epictetus advised, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak." When you speak with intention instead of emotion, you become harder to shake. While others waste energy reacting, you conserve it, building focus, clarity, and calm. But external silence is only part of the story. There's also the silence within. And that's where the true power lies. Our minds often scream with worry, replay old conversations, invent future fears, or cling to imagined problems. And we believe every thought as if it were fact. To master silence is to quiet this inner storm. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself to ask, "Is this really so important?" That single question cuts through the noise. It brings you back to what actually matters. You can practice this every day. In a tense conversation, before you reply, breathe. Ask yourself, do I really need to say something right now? Will this add value or just feed my ego? Many times the wisest response is none. A calm look, a composed expression, or even a gentle smile can say more than any words ever could. And when the noise is internal, turn to your breath. Meditate. Take a few minutes just to be still. No screens, no distractions. Just you, your thoughts, and the discipline to let them pass like clouds. Mastering silence is also a form of emotional protection, because the more you react to every insult, every disagreement, every annoyance, the more of your peace you give away. But when you choose silence, it's as if you're saying to the world, "I am bigger than this. I won't be moved." Over time, you'll notice something shift. You'll no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. You'll carry yourself differently, and others will feel it too. A master of silence doesn't need attention, doesn't need the last word, doesn't need to win the argument. Their presence speaks louder than noise. So practice silence, in your words, in your thoughts, and in how you show up. Remember, you don't have to engage in every conflict that crosses your path. Real power lies in knowing when to speak, and especially when not to. Choose silence. Let the world see that no matter how loud it gets, nothing can shake you. Part 8. Reduce the weight of offense. What's the real weight of an offense? That question may sound simple, but it carries deep wisdom. Because often it's not the offense itself that hurts. It's the importance we give to it. When you choose to shrink the value of others' words or actions, something incredible happens. They lose their power over you. A rude comment, a snide remark, a judgmental look. In the moment they may feel sharp, but pause and look closer. They're just vibrations in the air, words, and words alone can't define you unless you let them. Reacting strongly gives those words weight, but when you strip them of meaning, they fall flat. They bounce off your peace like pebbles on stone. This isn't about pretending nothing affects you. It's about understanding that the emotional impact of anything is something you control. Everyone sees the world through their own lens, colored by their fears, wounds, and frustrations. What someone says about you reflects far more about their inner world than it does about your reality. When you accept this, letting go becomes easier. You stop holding on to words that were never really yours to carry. That's not weakness, that's emotional intelligence. And here's something powerful. Most offenses are fleeting. What feels huge today may mean nothing a week from now. So why give it space in your mind? Why let it echo? The moment you downplay its importance, you take your power back. Try seeing the motive behind the words. Sometimes people speak from pain. They lash out from fear or insecurity. And when you see that, you may even feel compassion instead of anger. That doesn't mean accepting toxic behavior. It means choosing not to let it rule you. Reducing the weight of offense takes time. It's a practice. You won't master it instantly. But every time you ask yourself, why am I giving this so much importance? You're building mental strength. You're training yourself to respond with clarity instead of chaos. And most of all, remember this. Your worth isn't defined by others. You are more than their opinions, more than their criticisms, more than their projections. Your inner peace is yours, and only you can give someone access to it. So the next time someone offends you, pause and ask, does this really deserve my energy? If the answer is no, let it go. Let it pass like a cloud that never belonged to your sky. Because when you reduce the weight of offense, you rise above it. And in that quiet refusal to be shaken, you become the one who holds the power. Part 9. Practice the art of letting go. Real strength isn't always in holding on. Sometimes it's in the courage to let go. We often cling to people, thoughts, and situations that no longer belong to the person we've become. And with every attachment we refuse to release, we carry extra weight, the kind that slowly drains our peace, clouds our mind, and blocks our growth. Think of all the things you still hold on to: old grudges, unmet expectations, regrets from the past. Holding on to them is like trying to swim with stones in your pockets. Every movement feels heavier. What should be fluid becomes exhausting. Letting go is not giving up. It's recognizing that certain things no longer have a place in your present. It's a deliberate act of freedom, a conscious decision to create space for what truly matters. Ask yourself, does this still deserve space in my life? If the answer is no, then breathe and release. The Stoics teach us that we can't control what happens outside, only how we respond to it. And as long as you hold on to what has already passed, you trap yourself in a cycle of suffering. Letting go breaks that cycle. It doesn't erase what happened, but it allows you to stop reliving it. It's an act of self-preservation, not weakness, but wisdom. And yes, it takes practice. Sometimes you'll catch yourself gripping something you already vowed to release. That's okay. It's part of the process. Each time you let go again, you build emotional muscle. You grow lighter, stronger. Letting go is also an act of self-love. You're saying, I choose peace over pain. I choose now over yesterday. The past doesn't own you. Others' opinions don't define you. What's out of your hands doesn't belong in your heart. You get to decide what remains and what is released. This practice transforms your worldview. What once felt like a wall becomes something you can simply walk away from. You stop being at war with what you can't change and start living in harmony with what is. In the end, letting go is a gift you give yourself. Not for them, not for the past, but for your own clarity, your own peace. And once you embrace that release, you'll discover a quiet truth. It's not what happens to you that shapes your life, but how you choose to move forward from it. To let go is to walk freely, unburdened, unshaken. Have you ever imagined what your life would be like if nothing, absolutely nothing, could disturb your peace? Not because everything around you is calm, but because within you, there's a quiet fortress. You no longer need to react impulsively. You don't have to fight every offense, get lost in every thought, or hold on to things that no longer belong. You can choose to observe instead of absorb. You can decide to act with calm rather than react in haste. You can turn every challenge into a step and every moment of silence into strength. This shift starts now, and it continues every day in small choices, in the seconds you breathe before you respond, in the times you say, "This doesn't deserve my energy," in your refusal to be dragged into chaos, even when it knocks at your door. In the end, what makes you strong isn't what you face, but what you choose not to carry. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments, "I choose serenity." It reinforces your commitment and inspires others who are just beginning their own journey. Like this video, so it can reach more people who need this transformation too. And if you want to keep learning how to cultivate balance, clarity, and inner strength, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. See you soon. Until then, protect what no one can take from you: your peace.